Hello, welcome to Only Fools and SAFC. So we're back with the match review of our very good point at the Coventry Building Society Arena this afternoon. You know, a hard-fought 0-0 draw. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of the game a little bit later, but starting lineup, as we knew, Paddy Roberts was injured, got his minor hamstring injury, going to keep him out after the international break. So we discussed on the preview video who would come in and replace him. Tony Mowbray went for Abdullah Bar. So we started off with Patterson in goal, Trey Hume, Dan Ballard, Luke O'Neill, Dennis Serkin, Pierre Ekwa, Dan Neil, Bradley Dack, Joby Bellingham, Jack Clark, and Abdullah Bar. And you know, I think it was the first half. If I'm honest, Coventry shaded it a little bit. And, you know, they had a few chances, but I think both teams kind of lacked that killer pass in front of goal in the first half. And like I say, they kind of dominated the ball a little bit more in the first half without creating that many chances. If I'm honest, I think Ellis Sims had a chance just before the break to make it 1-0, but it was a good save from Patterson. Casey Palmer for Coventry, I thought, who I think he's a great player, was kind of him and Pierre Ekwa were having a great tussle in the first half. Casey Palmer perhaps just getting the better of it. You know, he was getting the ball and making things happen with the likes of Josh Eccles as well, and Matt Godden was creating problems. But like I say, we'll get to the half time with Coventry just shading, but we go in at half time 0-0. Great result. You know, like I said, would have settled that before the game. But second half, I thought we'd come out in the first 15 minutes of the second half. We dominated the ball. You know, we were getting on top. We were creating, looked as we were going to create chances, but yet again, the final ball was not good enough, or you know, we took a touch too many, and we couldn't create any really good openings. You know, we had one massive chance in the second half where Abdullah Bar's gone on the right hand side, and Joby Bellingham has got the whole of the half of the pitch, and if Abdullah Bar gets his head up and squares it to Bellingham, Joby's in. But he just put his head down and ran. You know, and two defenders closed him down, and the momentum was lost, and I was absolutely screaming for him to square that ball. What an opportunity. Like I say, he's wide open. Just lift your head up and have a look. But wasn't to be. And then the substitutions in the second half, we brought Huggins on, we brought Pritchard on, we brought Hemir on for Bradley Dack and Pierre Ekwa, which I thought was a bit of a strange decision, if I'm honest. I thought Pierre Ekwa was having a great game in midfield. I know he's on a yellow card, but the substitution for me kind of took the momentum away from us a little bit and kind of handed the impetus back to them. Trey Hume seemed to be playing just in front of the back four. Huggins went to right back. Emir came on and again struggled to get into the game. You know, he almost cost us a goal at the end when the ball was played from him, and he just a lazy, lackadaisical touch. Player took it off him, they broke, and they almost went and scored. So he didn't have really much impact in the game. Pritchard, when he came on, I thought looked decent again, so some nice touches. We had Patterson, a great save from Haji Wright, you know, in the middle of the second half once they made their changes so to keep us in the game. But overall, I think a point is a fair result. I think they had dominated the first half. We probably had the better of the second half. For once, Keith Stroud, even though he was, you know, I think he was bad for both sides. He tried to let the game flow, but some of the fouls he missed for both sides were terrible. But, you know, he didn't spoil the game too much. But like I say, overall, for me, a draw. I'd have took that before the game. Great result. It's a point and a clean sheet and a decent performance. You know, up to the box. We played some lovely football again with Jack Clark creating problems. Dennis Serkin down the left hand side as well, and Pierre Ekwa in the middle. You know, doing what he's been doing all season. So match ratings. Patterson, I say, was a great save to keep us in the game. I'm going to give Patterson a 7 out of 10. Did what he had to do. Trey Hume, pretty solid in defence. There was a couple of times where he let his man go. You know, Josh De Silva was creating a little bit of problem down that left hand side. So 6 out of 10 for Trey Hume. I thought Ballard and Luke O'Neill, very solid in the heart of defence. You know, stood up against Ellis Sims and then Haji Wright. So I'm going to give both them 7 out of 10. Dennis Serkin again, you know, was good, pretty solid. 7 out of 10 for Dennis. In the middle of the park, Dan Neil and Pierre Ekwa, I thought again that the two of them are getting better with every game goes into the season. sometimes just the final ball, or or we give it away at the odd times, which is going to happen. But I thought Pierre Ekwa, for me, I'm going to give him man of the match. I'm going to give him 8 out of 10. A combative midfielder. He gets on the ball, he breaks things up, and he plays nice little balls to either side. So Ekwa for me, 8 out of 10, man of the match. But Dan Neil had a good game as well. 7.5 out of 10. Abdullah Bar, again, I don't want to criticise the lad too much. He's still young and he's still learning. But for me, now he's not a right winger. He came in and did a job, but he showed some nice touches. But the final ball again was just not good enough. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Jack Clark, probably a 6.5 out of 10. He got on the ball and he was driving it their full back, but again, just lacking that final ball and the killer ball. I know we're lacking a striker, so hopefully that'll be sorted out in the near future. But 6.5 out of 10. Bradley Dack, in the first half, really struggled to get into the game, but he came into it more the second half, was getting on the ball. But 6 out of 10 for Bradley Dack. Joby didn't kind of have the same impression as he had against Rotherham last weekend. But he tried, he almost got on the end of a couple of things in the first and second half. 6 out of 10 for Joby. The substitutes, Pritchard, like I say, showed some nice touches when he came on, probably 6 out of 10. Huggins didn't really get into the game, 6 out of 10. Emir, I thought was, like I say, I don't want to criticise him too much. It was hard to get into the flow of the game, but for me, he just doesn't seem to have the urgency. When he loses the ball, his head goes down. Like that time I mentioned at the end of the game when the ball got played to him and he just lost it and his head just went down. He just seemed to be, throwing his arms in the air as though he was frustrated. But a 5 out of 10 for him here. So, like I say, overall, a great point, a decent performance. Two teams who probably not as good as they were last season, but fought out a 0-0 draw. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Coventry fans, let me know what your thoughts are as well. I know there's quite a few in the chat before the game, but thanks for watching. Take it easy, stay safe, and we'll speak soon. Ta-ra.